Deco style building with gold up on top. That is real gold. That is the Carbide and Carbon building. Today it is home to the Hard Rock Hotel. If you get a chance to go inside it, I recommend that you do. It was built in 1929, designed by the Burnham brothers to look like a champagne bottle. You know, the foil on top of the bottle, plus the gold on top. Once we clear the bridge, at your eye level on your right is Chicago's version of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. There is a very beautiful fountain here with a plaque in the back that has the names of over 3,000 Illinois soldiers who lost their lives in the Vietnam War. Above that memorial is the Jewelers Building, which was built in 1924, designed by Glaber in Dinkelberg. It stands at 24 stories tall with a 17-story Belvedere up on top. That Belvedere at one time was a speakeasy for Al Capone. It was called the Stratosphere Lounge. Clearing the bridge, you'll see the skinny white skyscraper connected to the Hotel 71. It is 75 East Wacker Drive, originally called Mather Tower. It was built in 1928 and designed by Herbert Hill Riddle in a neo-Gothic style and made out of white glazed terracotta. Now this building too stands at 24 stories tall, but it has an 18-story octagon tower up on top. When the building was completed, it was the world's tallest building for one whole week. The original 4-story crown was demolished in 2000 because it was structurally unsound. They did replace that crown on a very windy day in November of 2002 by helicopter. Now it was so windy though that the helicopter had a hard time getting the crown situated up on top because it kept swaying back and forth, and the helicopter nearly ran out of fuel trying to get the crown up on top. Next door again is Crane Communication, and then next door to that is 333 North Michigan Avenue. It was built in 1928, designed by Halliburton Root, but it was actually inspired by a 1922 sketch by Eliel Saarinen for the international competition to design Tribune Tower. Eliel Saarinen won second place of that competition, but more importantly, he was part of the founder of the Art Deco movement. Back at Michigan Avenue Bridge, it was the world's first double-deck, double-trunnion bascule bridge. Once we clear the bridge, off to your left, you are going to see the winner of that 1922 competition. This is Tribune Tower, built in 1925, designed by Howells and Hood. This neo-Gothic style skyscraper has flying buttresses up on top that are merely cosmetic. They serve no purpose whatsoever. And this was perceived as an architectural sin against the structural and functionalist architects. Taking a look off to our right again, you'll see a series of glass box style structures. The Illinois Center, designed by Mies van der Rohe, but behind it you'll be able to see the tip of the building with a pointy spire up on top. That is True Prudential, nicknamed Two True. It was built in Are you waving at me or someone else? I can't hear anything you're saying back there. You might want to tell him behind you. Two Prue was built in 1990. You're going to be able to see it much better right here in between these brick buildings. Two Prue, 1990, designed by Lobel, Schlossman, and Hackel. It has chevron setbacks on the north and south side, a sharp pyramid peak rotated 45 degrees, and the spire up on top is 80 feet tall. All right, back to our left is MBC Tower, built in 1989, designed by Adrian Smith. The flying buttresses there complementing Tribune Tower, while the dark windows and dark panels underneath it gives this building the illusion of height, even though it's only 38 stories tall. Now, if you don't mind looking behind you, you'll be able to see a structure with a big yellow dome up on top. It's the Intercontinental Hotel. Originally, it was an athletic club for the Shriners, and many people believe that that was a symbol of their faith. No, no, no. It was actually designed as a landing dock for blimps or zeppelins. The idea was it would tie up on top of the dome and climb down the ladder off to the side. Wouldn't that be fun? But apparently, it was never even used. Columbus Drive, right between Columbus Drive and Michigan Avenue Bridge, is where we dye our river green every St. Patrick's Day. This is a tradition going all the way back to 1962 when city pollution control workers or plumbers were using an orange dye to trace illegal sewage discharge in the river. Well, they noticed that the orange dye turned our river a beautiful emerald green and decided, hey, what a great way to celebrate the holiday. Now, we do have a St. Patrick's Day queen. She is nominated every year by the Plumbers Union. Can't make it up, folks. Now, if you look back to your right, you're going to be able to see Aqua again. In front of it, you'll be able to see that unique triangular building. That is a Swiss hotel built in 1988, designed by Harry Weiss, who designed those river cottages that you saw earlier on the north branch. As you can see, he likes designing in triangles. And then you'll be able to see Wacker Drive here turning into a triple deck. Now, behind that, though, at one time was a 9-hole par 3 golf course here in the city. It's now being built over with a series of condominiums. And this area is now called Lakeshore East. Now, a lot of these, of course, there's a Swiss hotel, but a lot of these newer buildings here are condominiums, except for the blue glass one that's in the shape of a cross. It's actually the Blue Cross Blue Shield building. Back again at Centennial Fountain. Next door to that is Riverview 1 and 2, built in 2001 and 2004, and designed by DeStefano and Partners. Now, I told you that in the 1800s, this river was so toxic that it would spontaneously combust. In the 1840s, just so you know, this river used to flow in the direction in which we're heading, which is east. It flowed directly into Lake Michigan, which was Chicago's source of drinking water, as it still is today. Well, in the 1840s, 12% of the population in Chicago died from drinking that infested water. So they came up with a solution to this problem by manually reversing the flow of the river. Now, they did that by dredging a canal on the south branch of the river. It's called the Sanitarian Ship Canal. It was dug about 15 feet deeper than the river, and the average depth of the river is 22 feet.